Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Keith Jardine to defeat Houston Alexander. And I'm here to talk about Melsik Baghdasaryan versus Tucker Lutz. Melsik is 31 years old, 7-2 as a pro, and he's 1 inch taller than Tucker Lutz, but giving up 2 inches of reach to Tucker Lutz, who is 29 years old and has a record of 12-3 as a pro. And this here is a striker versus grappler matchup. I know you're thinking, come on, man, it's 2023. Aren't we past that whole thing? No, we're not. Striker versus grappler. Actually, reverse that. Baghdasaryan's over here. And he will be playing the role of the striker in this matchup. This guy's an incredible striker, really good kickboxer, seasoned kickboxer with, incredible, sharp, dynamic strikes, versatile attack, incredibly fast, and here he's going to prove to be superior to Tucker Lutz on the feet. And Tucker Lutz is no slouch on the feet. He's a really good wrestle boxer, but in this fight he's going to be the wrestler, I hope, if he knows what's good for him. But Baghdasaryan, yeah, he's always going to have the kickboxing advantage, and here it should be no different. I expect him to get the better if it's a kickboxing battle. He's got 7 wins. 5 of them are TKOs, just 2 decisions. And the 2 decisions come near or at the UFC level. Dennis Bazooka on the Contender Series. Dennis Bazooka is a Long Island guy, trains with Sarah and Longo over here. And Bruno Souza, who he beat by decision after winning the first 2 rounds. In the 3rd round, I got to be honest, Bruno Souza was really going after it. He showed with pure aggression, you can steal a round from this guy on the feet. But still, Baghdasaryan proved to be the better guy overall in that fight, and in every fight, really. He's the better kickboxer. His 2 losses, however, come on the ground, and they are both by submission. He lost in his debut by armbar in a fight that I did not see. I tried to look for it, of course. That's all I ever try to do is look to the losses. I want to watch the losses immediately, but I haven't been able to see that. And the last one, though, I did see because it was in the UFC, and Joshua Kulabau rear naked choked him. And it was a sudden turn of events. Just once the tide turned, that was it. It was locked and it was over. And for the tide to turn that quickly like that, I think it can only speak to a bad ground game for Baghdasaryan. And Joshua Kulabau, I think that was his first submission ever. Maybe his second, but definitely a low submission guy. Low percentage submission guy, just like Tucker Lutz, who has 2 submissions in his 12 victories. Probably about the same as Kulabau. But yeah, Baghdasaryan, that fight fell apart pretty quickly there when it was going his way. But Tucker Lutz, he's got some vulnerabilities as well. He's got a 12-3 record. His 3 losses, which I should just get into right away. The first one comes by TKO, and that was in his debut. Another fight that I have not seen. Of course, I tried to look for it. Round 3 TKO. Could have been standing, could have been on the ground, but I don't think it was his chin failing him. And, yeah, there's that. I really wish I had seen that fight, but I just couldn't find it. And the 2nd round submission loss in his last fight to Daniel Pineda is his only submission loss. Daniel Pineda is maybe the most potent finisher in the history of MMA. I think he definitely is. He's got like 37 wins, and they're all finishes. He's incredibly dangerous, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. And once that tide turned in that fight, which in my opinion, Lutz looked a little flat in that one. But once Pineda sensed he was flat, he really took over, and he had taken over before the guillotine. But, once that guy is winning, he finishes, and he got Tucker Lutz out of there. Pat Sabatini, however, had to win a decision against Tucker Lutz. He thoroughly dominated him on the ground, but Tucker Lutz hung in there. Pat Sabatini, overall, he may not be as dangerous as Pineda overall, but he is a very, very good grappler and a better grappler overall than Pineda. Just a monster between the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. And Tucker Lutz, though, he's a versatile guy. He's a versatile guy. He's got 6 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 4 decisions. He can take this fight to the ground. He doesn't just have to box with Melsik Baghdasaryan. And I think here in the small cage in the apex, he's going to be looking to do that. I'm sure he's been training for takedowns, and if not, again, plan B will show up once he gets a taste of Baghdasaryan on the feet, and then he'll be looking for takedowns. But either way, I think for for a guy that doesn't have a weak chin like Tucker Lutz, even though, again, I really wish I saw that debut loss. But again, the fact that it was his first MMA fight shows, like, I put even less faith in that. The fact that his one TKO loss comes in the third round of his first fight. That's just inexperience. That's how Nick Diaz got TKO'd by Jeremy Jackson. He didn't know he could move his head. And then he rematched him and fought him twice more and beat him both times. But Tucker Lutz, I think the wrestler's going to show up and he's going to be able to cut off Baghdasaryan and get him to the mat. He is my pick for this fight. I like Tucker Lutz to win here. I think he's, again, a pretty durable guy. I didn't like the way he fell apart a little bit against Pineda, but that is Daniel Pineda, who brings a much more diverse attack and overall skill set than Melsik Baghdasaryan. With Baghdasaryan, there's one thing you have to do, and that's get him to the floor, and then you have to hold him down or submit him. But I think Tucker Lutz will be more inclined to hold him down, and that is my prediction. I got Tucker Lutz winning by decision. I've thrown a sprinkle on that at plus 325, but really the money line is what I played at plus 170. I just think Tucker Lutz is much more in this matchup than the odds have given him credit for, and that's largely due to a dog shit performance against Daniel Pineda. I think just as much weight should be put on the fact that Melsik Baghdasaryan melted in seconds against Joshua Kulbau. Not that he gave up or whatever, but the fight disintegrated in front of our eyes. It was just over in seconds. So a lot of vulnerabilities here, and I'm playing Tucker Lutz. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit, and check out my other videos.